Welcome to Luxury in Black. I'm your host, Sherry Tisdale, and we are so excited to have you join us this afternoon. Always excited to talk about all things fashion. Spring and summer is in the air. It is festival season, and we have kicked it off big time here in Oklahoma. It started the 1st of May. Getting ready for another huge festival this weekend, Legacy Fest, which commemorates and celebrates the 1921 race massacre, which took place on May 31st through June 1st. And this festival this weekend on Saturday commemorates what took place, as well as celebrating the resurgence, the rebuilding that took place in 1922, where Black Wall Street came back stronger than ever. It will be a full day of great activities, Grammy Award-winning artists that will be performing, vendors, great food. It's going to be a great time. This is a great time to be in Oklahoma. As I said, we really do festivals well. We have some of the largest festivals in the U.S., which will take us through Juneteenth, which begins for us on June 14th. We're going to have as our guest today Lauren Corbitt Evans, who is the fashion producer, executive director for the Tulsa Juneteenth, which is held as one of the largest Juneteenth festivals in the U.S. So excited to hear all of the happenings that are going to be taking place, but most importantly, she'll be sharing with us about legacy and fashion, and it is going to be awesome. So we look forward to talking with her shortly, but we're going to do what we do well, which is talk about fashion, and as we get you ready for all of the summer fun and happenings, we want to make sure that you are going to be summer fine. So we're going to talk about great festival wear, summer wear, beach wear, wherever you may be going outside. We will be talking about the looks that are hot. And this summer, as I told you, more muted tones, a lot of polka dots, a lot of hands and naturals, but what's popping are the vibrant hues that are bringing all of the sizzle and all of the pop, such as the berries and the cherries, but also now adding in electric blue, magentas, neon green, and where this accessory is really popping off is on the eyes. The eyes have it. You're seeing a lot of dramatic accessories happening with really bold eyeshadows that are really sizzling, that are bringing a lot of the dramatic and really creative looks. You're seeing that a lot on the festival scene. Very bold shadows and graphic liners, colorful eyeshadows that are really bringing the sizzle and the sparkle. We are also seeing a lot of sequins and metallics with shimmering fabrics that are elevating a lot of the festival looks, and glittery dresses that are bringing glamour from day to night. And then, of course, still on the rise, still holding court, our Western wear. The revival is real. Cowboy boots, cowboy hats, fringe details are all the rage. So if you have not ordered your cowgirl gear, you want to get your fit right. It is all about denim. It is all about boots on the ground, and you want to make sure that you have the right outfit and you're ready to be suited and booted. Another look, if you're not really into the cowboy wear, there's a softer look that's a little bit more feminine, has a little bit more grace, and they're calling it the ballet core, which is soft pastels with the tulle skirts and delicate lace that is also trending, giving a very romantic and whimsical look. Also hot on the scene are the long denim shorts, which is our true new favorite of mine, called jorts. And they are And also, as another option, are the cargo micro shorts are also a popular choice. They are being blended a lot with crop tops or either oversized tees that give you a really laid back, but yet a very stylish vibe that is also very popular. The look in footwear is the chunky sandals, which I absolutely love. They're the thick soles and with very bold designs that are not only comfortable, but very fashion forward, and they complete just about any look. Great for dancing as well as walking. If you're walking through the festival grounds, you're walking through the beach, you will not only be cute and stylish, you will also be comfortable. I'm a bohemian at heart. I am very eclectic, and that boho chic remains a staple with the flowing maxi dresses and crochet tops, floral prints, and we talked a lot about polka dots. Are all those styles really exude an effortless elegance, and they're just really ideal and for that free spirited look that is just goes with summer period. So if you love bohemian, that boho chic, you will definitely be high in season, and those styles are just absolutely awesome. And as I mentioned earlier, in the eyewear makeup trends, the really bright, bold eyeshadows, that aquamarine color is, you're going to see that paired with purples and golds, are really very dramatic, but really gives a very mesmerizing look. Really a lot of fun to add to the summer fun. All about hydrating. This is going to be a hot summer. Everyone, if you're listening to any of the weather news, it's predicted to be a very hot summer. So really taking care of our bodies is so important, keeping hydrated. And that is with our beauty regimen. And this year in the makeup, you're seeing a lot of hydrating lip gloss that will give you that pop of color and shine, but it's also not leaving you with that stickiness because you don't want that. It's providing you with a fresh, dewy finish that will be perfect for any setting, particularly if you're outside. Blushes are really rosy and floral tones, along giving you that sun kiss. I've talked a lot about the face is very natural. It's a soft glow. It's really to just elevate and where your skin looks fresh and dewy, and it really pops off, particularly with the rosy colors and coral colors on the blush, really complete that look. As well, if you're into fake freckles that also kind of add to that youthful sun-kissed appearance, you can apply that. That's also, you're going to see a lot of that as well. Colored mascara is back. You're with the boldness in the eyes, they are accentuating that with colored mascaras and purples and burgundies. And as I stated, the graphic eyeliners are also adding a lot of fun element for eye makeup. But on your skin, your skincare, your makeup really is simple within your skincare and makeup, but really making sure that you're using products that are hydrating your skin, that's maintaining, giving you that healthy, plump skin look, very minimal steps, aiming more for a smooth satin complexion. They're calling it butter skin. And this, again, involves hydrating the skin, intense and creamy makeup products that just provide that natural glow. But most importantly, make sure you're protecting your skin from the UA rays, that you're making sure that you are putting on the sunscreens that work well for your body and for your skin, to just make sure that you are providing that protection. And on top of that, adding hats or scarves as well, just shielding your face from the sun, as well as your hair is also recommended, just to make sure that we are, keeping our things hydrated and managed properly. Again, in the hair trends, boho braids and what they're calling the mermaid waves are very, very popular. Uh, Braids and locks, you can't go wrong in that department. And they have so many cool different styles that are really you're seeing on the scene to give you from just very soft curls and elegance to very edgy you self, you can just do so many cool things with braids and with locks. That is definitely one of the most best protective styles that you can utilize. But also, that's very popular are the mermaid waves. If you're wearing your hair natural, uh, provide doing the waves, or even what they're calling the mohawks. Curly mohawks are very popular, and they are really showcasing the natural texture and also really seen a lot on a lot of the festival scenes and summer scenes that are showcasing it in the market. If you're like bob wigs, a bob will always work, but they're really wearing a shorter bob. Short style bobs are really what's happening. Butterfly cuts, which really gives a chic appearance and ease of maintenance, as well as, really frames the face well and, can add that special pizzazz for any summer festivity. And the color this season is ginger. It is giving that pop of color. You're seeing it added in a lot of the box braids or even on locks. You're seeing added insinuating with beads, which is kind of adding that cultural heritage, reflecting a personal style is also very, very, very popular. And again, just to kind of go over the top key points to keep yourself ready for the summer, festival ready, beach ready is protective styling on your hair for styles that are going to really you're able to maintain and require minimal steps and shielding your hair as much as you can and your skin. Make sure you're keeping it hydrated. That is key. Is making sure your body, skin, and hair are all properly hydrated. Sun protection, making sure that we have that SPF and keeping the UV rays at bay. Very, very important. But on top of all of that, we want you to have fun, look fly, be fashion, be fabulous, and express yourself, but do it that keeps you comfortable as well. And so we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to have with us Executive Director and Fashion Producer of Tulsa Juneteenth, who's going to tell us all about the upcoming Legacy and Luxury Fashion Show. Stay tuned. At Rubicon, we believe every meal should be an experience. Nestled in the heart of North Tulsa, we bring you bold flavors, locally sourced ingredients, and a dining atmosphere like no other. From our signature dishes to expert crafted cocktails, every bite tells a story, perfect for any occasion. Live music on Thursdays with house band Upscale Smoke. Rubicon is not just another smokehouse, it's a whole vibe. Join us at Rubicon, where taste meets tradition. Rubicon Restaurant, the Upscale Smoke experience. Excited to have you on. I know this is gearing up. It's a busy, busy time.
Mm-hmm.
And we are definitely right around the corner.
Yes.
And your third year?
It is my third year. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now being the visionary and taking over the largest Juneteenth festival in the country. And, your mom, rebirthed it and brought back life to Juneteenth, which had been a part of Tulsa for a while. But taking that over, what is that responsibility? What has it meant to you?
Well, it means a lot. It is actually a lot more than I expected, for sure. But I am really honored and grateful to be able to be in this position. I think a lot of people have the misconception that like Juneteenth was started by my mom, and it's something that she ran kind of solo. But prior to her having a hand in the Juneteenth Festival, Juneteenth has been big in Tulsa for a very long time.
Right,
And
right,
so just to know the history and the significance of this event for Tulsa is a huge responsibility, but I carry it well, I believe, and very honored and grateful that I'm able to continue such a large legacy, because it's not only the legacy of my mother, but it's a legacy of Tulsa.
right.
And so being in the position absolutely means the world to me. And I'm just very grateful that I'm able to continue this amazing work.
You know, and it's, just being very transparent, it means so much to me. Everything you and Lindsay have maintained, that Sherry rebirth, and, just the history, because we were dual in this, because my mom was one of the original founders. Juneteenth goes back even further. Mabel Wall, really started way back, when it was just in the heyday of Greenwood before,
Absolutely.
you know, when what we now call the heyday of Greenwood was called Deep Greenwood. I mean, the history is so long, but, just to see that transformation, the recognition through the state, and then we thought, it was gone away. And then, to see Sherry, she bring that back, and then to come back and reclaim that same presence is to be applauded. And, and as you said it, the misconception, but people don't realize what it takes to put on a festival
Hmm.
of that magnitude. And that's something that you do year round. I mean, you just, it doesn't,
It
it's
never
all year long.
stops.
Right,
It's
right.
a never-ending situation. And so all the years, sometimes I find myself not remembering if it was one year or the next, because all the years kind of run into each other, because the work is year round. And so as soon as the festival is over, and even sometimes during the planning for that year's festival, you're still talking about what the next year looks like, what things we're not able to do this year that we may be able to add or push to next year. And so there's always that element of just ongoing planning and preparing for the festivals. And so I try to, I think one, just transparently, one thing that is super important in planning events of this magnitude is having the how do you put it? I would say just being able to plan ahead of time. And
Hmm.
sometimes because of the lack of funding, or
Right,
if there's a
right,
deficit in fundraising or anything of that nature, it's difficult to plan ahead, right? Because you're needing to put down deposits and all of those types of things. And so sometimes where we would like to be planning a little further ahead,
right.
you're not able to. And so I think just there's a difference every year in like what that planning process looks like and how it actually functions. And so I've been grateful to be able to evolve in that process and make changes and put policies in place and things that help the overall planning process for the festival.
Well, kudos. I mean, hats off, because that's a whole lot. And people don't realize the funding aspect that goes on, and as you said, year round, but how it dictates what you're able to do, and you're trying to meet all the demands of so many people,
Yeah.
you know, and you've added elements, there's a run, but one that we're really excited about is this is your second year adding the fashion show element,
Uh-huh.
and this year's theme, legacy and luxury. And it's becoming quickly a very signature event. What inspired you to incorporate fashion into the Juneteenth celebration?
Fashion has always been very near and dear to me. I think it's the way in which I express myself a lot is through my
Hmm.
fashion personally. And so it's always been an interest for me to do a fashion show for the festival. And I've probably presented it before I was actually executive director. I have presented it a few times just
Okay.
to our planning committee to say, I think this would be a good addition. And other years, it just didn't align. And so last year, I was approached by a couple of individuals, including Lonnie McQuarters, Alicia Stevens, and them wanting to put together a fashion show during that time in collaboration with us. And so I felt like it was a great opportunity to introduce fashion to the festival, in that I have been trying to do that for a while. And we all came together and were able to put together an amazing show.
It
And so
was.
shout out to them for that assistance and being able to bring that together. And after the success of last year, it just really the interest in fashion overall, just personally, now that I'm in position to kind of add what I'd like, just
Right, right.
with the support of our board of directors and our planning committee, it just felt right to do it again. And I know that there were a lot of ideas and things that we had last year that we just weren't able to incorporate into one fashion show. And so we were like, let's continue this. Let's bring those additional ideas to life in another opportunity. And so yeah, this is our second year, and I am extremely excited about being able to continue with this event.
Oh, and so am I. And I want to say applause, applause, because last year was amazing. Attendance was great, but the designers, the models, I mean, it was a great time, and certainly one that and what I do, but to see it take place, to see the talent, we have such an enormous amount of Black creatives in Oklahoma, and to see them come together because you had designers and models that not only from Tulsa, but also Oklahoma City, surrounding areas that took part as well, correct?
Yes, ma'am. So I have a couple of connections in Oklahoma City. One of our stylists, her name is Landy Styles, and she does a lot through fashion. And we actually go to church together at the birthing room in Oklahoma City. Shout out to my
Mhm.
church. And she actually had a fashion show for one of our church events, and it was absolutely amazing. And I knew at that point that like I really wanted to work with her. And so she always has like extremely cute pieces that she's either putting together or she'll imagine it something in her head. So she is getting into designing. Most of what she's done in the past is a little more specific to styling, but she's getting into like designing a lot more than she has in the past. And so I linked up with her. She had already done some work with different models in Oklahoma City. And so we were able to draw in models and designers from different areas of Oklahoma. And then last year, our theme for the festival at
Mhm.
large was This is Oklahoma. And so we were really intentional about showcasing not just
Right.
Tulsa, but Oklahoma at large. Yeah.
And this year's theme is legacy and luxury, which is really amazing. I like the luxury part. What does that mean to you personally, and the Black culture and creativity, and how are you incorporating that in your overall theme for Juneteenth this year?
So our overall theme for the festival is family reunion.
Okay.
When
I
I
love
think
that.
about a family reunion, I think about all of the components of the family reunion, right? So you
Mhm.
have like your kickback, your little, family
Mhm.
gathering, your cookout, which is symbolic of what our block party is, our annual
Mhm.
block party. And then typically you have, some kind of late night dinner or activity that the family is dressing up and coming to participate
Right,
in,
right.
or whether that's church on Sunday. You have all of these different components of a family reunion. And so the legacy and luxury for me is a part of that family reunion theme, and that like we are making sure that we acknowledge the legacy of where we've come from and what who has come ahead of us and paved the way for different things, and the legacy that continues and how that looks, right? What legacy how legacy shows up for my generation and for generations behind me. And then the luxury part is just that's who we are as
Right.
a culture. We like luxury. We like to get dressed. I know some people say dress up. I just say get dressed because dressing up can look different for everyone.
Right. Right.
I love that about our culture, is that we take pride in the way that we look, in the way that we dress, and how we put things together. And it's a way of expressing ourselves. And so I wanted to bring that luxury component in so that there was an element of not just kind of streetwear and what we regularly would do, but an upscale luxury feel as well.
That is awesome. And so in doing that, you bring in all of your talent in terms of your designers and models are all from Oklahoma. How do you find your designers?
A lot of what we do is through connection. I think sometimes that's the best way to build a thing, is by using the connections that you have. And so a lot of it is word of mouth and people saying like, hey, I heard about this event and I would love to be a part, and like just building those relationships and making those connections. But I have been very lucky that I have people around me that are also in that industry and understand it, and know up and coming designers and artists that would like to be involved, and just really by way of recommendation and referral.
That and how and with Tulsa Juneteenth being the history of it, but not only it's holding its own space as one of the largest festivals in the U.S., but your festival also lands on the historic Greenwood and Black Wall Street. So you have that component, the two coming together. What does that mean to you, and why is the fashion so important in telling that story? Because kind of fun this year, you're doing something different from last year that's going to take place with the show, correct?
Yes. So I think sometimes as locals, we kind of overlook the significance of where we are, and sometimes take advantage of that. And when I hear and are able to speak to people from outside of Oklahoma, it's a really big thing to them. And we do have a lot of people that come from out of state to participate in the festival. And so I think it's always been important to our organization that we highlight Black Wall Street and the deep Greenwood area now, because people come. It's a tourist area, and so people are generally coming to learn more and to be a part of the feel of what is still there and what was there previously. And so I wanted this year to be able to bring what we sometimes feel as like a more upscale event to the street of Greenwood. And so this year we'll actually be hosting the fashion show on Greenwood Avenue. And it's an idea that I've had for a couple of years and really wanted to bring that to life. And so I think just being able to have it there, it's almost full circle, just bringing everything back to where it started. Because when you think back to what Black Wall Street was, it was a hub for people that were in fashion, for boutiques and suit shops and dress shops. And there are things that were there that spoke to what we are currently doing. And so it's just kind of bringing it full circle to me.
Oh, I agree. And that is really, really exciting. And I know the show in itself is going to be amazing. And you have such wonderful team. You spoke of Landis, and I know my cohort who love dearly, Lonnie McQuarters, is one of your creators, and look to have both of them come on and talk on the show and talk a little bit more in depth on some of the designers they have selected. And we want to have that in the next couple of weeks prior to the show. But you're doing VIP. I mean, this is a major event. It was sold out last year. And so I encourage everyone, if you're planning to attend, do it because tickets are already available. Is that correct?
They are. They are available through our website. And so if you go to tulsajuneteenth.org, you'll see on that front page our fashion show, and that link will take you straight to our ticket sales.
Okay. And the VIP, to gain VIP access, what can, as a VIP, what will they get? Why do you want to be VIP? Because you just should want to be VIP anyway.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, so our VIP, it includes front row seating as well as a pre-social hour with hors d'oeuvres and free drinks. And then this year we also added an after party. And so it's just kind of like an after social that we're having after the fashion show to be able to meet and greet with our designers, as well as there is a new salon. It's a hair salon. Actually,
it is everything.
And it is everything. It is Silk Salon.
Yes.
It is downtown, and we are collaborating with them to do an after social hour. And so our VIPs will be a part of that social hour and be able to meet even the models. Some of the models will be there, and they will be able to meet the models and just really celebrate what it is that we have been able to bring to life, and just culturally be able to mingle and celebrate together.
That is, and if you have not heard, or if you've not been to Silk, or if you're on the socials, it is everything. That's like a whole experience. So that is going to be really, that's a great marriage right there.
Absolutely.
I love that. Can't wait to partake in that. And the event overall, as I said, which is going to be electrifying. I do know that. But I do want to ask you, just kind of finally, as a fashion producer, you're seeing the trends, what's hot and the Black culture as a whole. But what advice would you give to an aspiring producer or creator who's wanting to connect and build something that's culturally rooted, such as your event?
I would first say that, no idea is too big or too small. I think sometimes we discredit ourselves because we either think our idea is too small, or maybe no one wants to be a part, or maybe no one will show up. And then on the flip side of that, sometimes we can imagine things that are immaculate and think maybe it doesn't align with what's happening currently and what's trending. Things trend because someone decided to put it out there and to start it. And so you don't even have the chance to trend if you don't just put your idea out there and put some motion to it. And so I would definitely say, just believe in yourself and know that if one audience is for you or not for you, there's always an audience that is for you. And so don't be discouraged by the audience that is not yours, because there is an audience for everything, and you just have to find your target audience and cater to them and not worry about the rest.
I love that. That's a whole word right there, because we get so discouraged, and, caught up in what somebody else is doing versus really cultivating what's been given to you.
Absolutely.
And taking the time to build and work that. And, you can't get around it. It's work. You've got to build it.
Absolutely.
And I do believe that if you build it, people will come. You just have to build it. Well, we are so excited. I thank you so much for your time today because I
Oh,
know because
absolutely.
you are moving and grooving and we're and getting ready. And so I thank you for jumping in and sharing with us. But one more time before you go again, where can people go? Because I'm telling you, this is a must see event. And the date is Saturday, June 14th. This is for the fashion show, Lu- Legacy and Luxury. Where can people again get tickets and where do they go?
Yes, they can go to our website. It is Tulsa, TULSA Juneteenth. That's JUNETEENTH .org. And click our fashion show link, and it'll take you right to our ticket sales.
Awesome. And then you will see all the events because that's the kickoff, as I've been sharing a little bit earlier. We start on the 14th. It goes all the way through the 21st. So many wonderful things happening. You'll see why it is number one in the U.S. Just go to the website. But you definitely want to get your tickets. This is an event you don't want to miss. Well, Lauren, thank you again so much. And we will, as I said, I'm going to reach out to your fashion creators that are working with you. We would love to have them on and talking a little bit more detail on some of the fashions and things to expect because we're just getting started.
Yes, ma'am. Well, thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it. I am hopeful that we'll be able to do a special little live
We will.
during our after social, and we'll be able to see you again.
Oh, yes. Well, Luxury in Black will be in the house and we'll make that happen.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Ciao.
Ciao.